Please come. Please sit down. What's your name, please?
My name is Priyamvada Ashok Mhaddalkar.
Okay. So Priyamvada is your name and Ashok is your father's name?
Father's name.
Okay. And the last one is the caste?
Surname. Last name
Okay.
Mhaddalkar.
You are going to UPSC for the first time?
I attempted the prelims before this. I did not qualify. So technically this is my second attempt and it will be my first interview.
First interview, okay. So kindly tell us something about yourself.
Yes, sir. As you know, my name is Priyamvada Ashok Mhaddalkar. I am from Mumbai. I am a very determined and motivated girl. I have studied engineering from VJTI in Mumbai. Later I pursued MBA from IIM Bangalore. I have 6 years of work experience in the financial services sector. I left my job in 2020 and to pursue civil services. And here I am after 2 years.
What has attracted you to leave such a nice profession where you're doing so well?
Yes, sir. At the outset, I would like to share with you that just as a 5-year-old when I was in Ratnagiri, I used to often say that I will become the collector one day. And this was largely inspired because my father was working in a state government PSU and he had the deepest respect for IAS officers. However, later, different motivations, due to some financial constraints, I had to take up, my focus was to take up a job after graduation. And then I started pursuing for further upgrade in the same space, in the financial services space. And then when I was working with DB, I reached a stage where I started questioning what are my long-term career goals. And the way my career was headed, it became
but even from electronics to MBA, even that was a big shift. Why that?
Yes, sir. So electronics, I was passionate about electronics. However, at that time, around 2012, the semiconductor industry in India was not as prolific as it is today. And I did not get any opportunity in the electronic space. So I was placed from the campus with Credit Suisse services.
So tell me, what do you think of this bulldozer thing which is happening in Delhi? There's a lot of noise about it all over the place, different voices. What's your view? Has it been used correctly or not, or is it being used correctly or not?
Sir, an illegal construction by law should be demolished. However, we have to be careful about how we go about with it. If we take a knee-jerk reaction to demolish suddenly for something which has been existing for a long time, then it gives a signal that perhaps we are targeting a community, and that should not be the approach. We should speak to the members, we should understand.
You think they will agree to demolish their property, speak to them?
Sir, there should be alternate arrangements which should be made. Rehabilitation should be the focus.
How many times people, if you demolish, if you remove them from one place, then they'll go and have another place, they'll encroach on some other land?
Yes, sir.
There, you give them alternate land, they'll sell the land and then again go to third place. How many times do you think one should be doing it?
Sir, that I believe what happens many times when we go about with rehabilitation is we just think of we take a very locational view, that shift from one place to the other. However, we should also take into consideration that the livelihood is based in a particular place. So it becomes inconvenient for such people to travel long distances to their place of work. So we have to take a holistic perspective. And
how do you give land at the place where they are there? Then the best is not to demolish and regularize everything.
Yes, sir. Perhaps with
in cities like Bombay and Delhi, every day, Delhi I am certain, 1,000 people come to Delhi every day to settle, and they all encroach land for their living.
Correct, sir.
How long can it go?
So we have to take a short-term view, a long-term view. A long-term view would be holistic development.
So you are saying it should not be demolished?
No, sir.
That's
no,
what
sir.
You're saying.
Illegal, if anything is illegal, we have to demolish
But you
the
are also
structures.
saying give them alternate land.
Yes, sir.
And I am telling you, if you give them, they'll sell it, then they'll again do that.
Sir, that is why I feel that a little employment opportunities will go a long way in.
Achha, tell me, what are the social issues facing women in India? Tell me 4 top social issues.
Sir, one big issue that we have is female infanticide. The social bias towards the male child, which is called as son-meta preference. Secondly, educational opportunities for women. Many times women are socialized, and because of the patriarchal nature of society, women are not
Okay, don't
encouraged.
explain, just give me the point. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So financial independence is an issue for many women, and also domestic violence is a major issue.
What changes have taken place in the world since the start of this century, from 2000 onwards? Broad changes, just list them.
So at the start of 2000, we were in the midst of the dot-com bubble burst, and which was followed by a boom in the economy because of.
Don't explain.
Okay, sir.
Just list the points.
Yes, sir. So the boom, then it was followed by the 2008 financial crisis, which was a major event of this century. Other changes are the startup boom and the push for digitization. Yes, sir, these are the major things I can think of.
Portrait making is your hobby.
Yes, sir.
All kinds of portraits you can make. How long you take to make a portrait of somebody?
Of somebody, if I have to make a detailed one, usually an hour or so. Rough sketch perhaps in 15-20 minutes.
Thank
you. You worked in Deutsche Bank for how long?
For 4 years, sir.
4 years. Based in Delhi or Bombay?
Bombay.
Based in Bombay. And you organized some CSR activities?
Yes, sir.
Like what?
Sir, we used to conduct visits to some rural areas around Mumbai, and distribution of food packets, and we also used to volunteer for teaching in some schools in Mumbai. Also, we used to encourage some handicrafts sector by coordinating with them to set up a stall.
Did you organize something which was sustainable, or were these just one-off activities?
Unfortunately, sir, most of our activities were one-off activities which would not address the root cause of a problem.
But why is that?
So,
because there is a 2% CSR mandated. You just want to do activities irrespective of the impact.
Sir, unfortunately, the approach is, I think the idea is to see an immediate impact, maybe.
But
so
you organized it, you could have had more impact-oriented
yes, sir.
events.
We did not take a very long-term view, and plus for addressing the root causes, we also need institutional backing, because it is not one stakeholder
Where
of
there's
the
a bill,
society.
you can organize all of this.
Yes, sir, but
Okay, Social Services Club, you were a member in school. What did you do there?
yes, sir, that approach was also very similar, where the school would organize trips to rural areas, distribution of food packets, distribution of sanitary napkins, and also whenever there was any major disaster event, we used to again go on a collection drive.
So if you are, if you get into the civil services, and we do hope that you do, and you become a development officer or a district officer, you'll do similar kind of work.
No, sir. I have realized through these activities that philanthropy most of the times and CSR takes just immediate effect kind of an impact. But as a civil servant, I have to think more holistically and put in place some structures whereby the development can be sustainable.
In a backward district,
Yes, sir.
what sustainable developmental projects would you like to do?
Sir, I think for any development, the major step has to be employment generation. So we need to start with identifying whether there is any product of the district or any area where the district can generate employment for the people, and then we also need to focus simultaneously on the schooling system, make sure that the people are educated, and health services.
But there will be schools, there will be hospitals in whichever district you go.
Yes, sir.
So what is the additionality that you will bring, considering the experience that you have?
Yes, sir. So many times we have seen that even though the schools are there, the attendance is very low. The teacher training is also a very important aspect.
Who will train the teachers?
Sir, we can do it at a national level, because nowadays online education is
You will have to organize master trainers to teach the teachers. How would you do that?
Sir, we can start with modules, online modules, just like how we have for students, where we can also make it interval based, so that regularly the teachers are updated, and different audiovisual means are provided to them, so that they can make a learning a very
This will again be an event based approach. You know, if you want to train the teachers, you need to have more sustainable plans, programs. Any idea the contours of that sustainable plan for training teachers?
Sir, I am not able to recollect any measure that the government has taken already.
Okay, tell me, you are in Deutsche Bank.
Yes,
You
sir.
were in Deutsche Bank. Inflation is going up.
Yes, sir.
What can be done?
Yes, sir. So, by and large, monetary policy is the first tool that is used to contain inflation.
Monetary policy, MPC did not do anything.
Yes,
They
sir.
maintained their accommodative
Yes, so that is
stance.
because of external effects like the Russia-Ukraine war, where oil prices are going up. So
You still have to make interventions.
yes, sir. So I believe RBI perhaps in the coming policy meetings, they will raise the interest rates, is what I expect.
But why didn't they raise it 2 weeks ago?
Sir, because RBI has to also take into consideration the growth aspect, and
What is the
because
mandate of the MPC?
mandate
Is
of
it
the
growth or inflation?
inflation targeting is the mandate which is being followed
Yes.
by MPC, where they are provided with a band, while the target is 4%, a tolerance band of 2%. So 2 to 6% is the tolerance.
Okay, tell me, FIIs, why are they exiting India?
Sir, FIIs are a short-term investment in any country.
That's all right. Why are they exiting?
Generally, when there is a scene of geopolitical disturbance.
In the India context, they've been exiting for the last many months. Every month they are withdrawing and putting the money where?
Sir, I also believe that the US Fed has raised the rates, and whenever the Fed raises.
Marginal rates. Are they taking away money and to get the advantage of interest rates?
Sir, even a marginal, to my knowledge, even a marginal rate hike by the US Fed has
So
a large.
is that one reason? What
That
are
is
the
one
other
of the
reasons?
reasons,
What
I
are the
believe.
other reasons?
Sir, I'm not able to think of.
Does this also put pressure on the rupee?
Yes, sir, because we will be the dollar will appreciate when FIIs exit, so the rupee will get devalued.
What was your core job in the Deutsche Bank? Was it CSR or what were you looking after?
Sir, I was part of the Delta 1 trading desk.
Part of the?
Delta 1 trading desk. It is basically index trading, where we facilitate clients like hedge funds and institutional investors from different countries to take exposure to emerging markets. So I was a part of the emerging markets desk. The trading desk was based out of Hong Kong, and I used to support from as a trading assistant from Mumbai. So basically these institutional clients would take exposure to emerging markets like India, for example, Indonesia and other countries, and we would I was in charge of book management, where we would ensure that there is correct rebalancing happening as per the index rebalancing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Priyamvada,
Yes, sir.
I've seen your dad. You had an exceptional school career, very bright student, all-rounder.
Thank you, sir.
You also had global experience, working for big banks and
Yes, sir.
living in Singapore. So I'm sure you follow international events. Can you tell me 5 main important news items today?
Yes, sir. The biggest news today is the visit of the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to India, and the work that is being done on the FTA with UK. Also, Russia-Ukraine crisis has been in news for the last 2 months or so. And also Sri Lanka has been in news recently because of the economic crisis in Sri Lanka.
What was the news about Sri Lanka today? I was wanting to know today's news items.
Sorry, sir, today
You didn't look at the paper?
I looked at the front page and I read about the
All right.
UK.
Any other items?
Not related to foreign affairs.
Any then, okay, tell me.
There was one item about the poem of Faiz, which has been removed from the CBSE textbooks.
Which poem is that?
Sir, I am not able to recollect.
All right. And one more. Okay. Now you referred to the visit of the UK Prime Minister.
Yes, sir.
You referred also to the FTA. Now, what did Boris Johnson say regarding the timing when he thinks that the FTA would be signed?
Sir, he said Diwali is
By
around-
Diwali
by
it will be
Diwali.
signed. Now, there were also some discussions on other matters apart from the FTA. Can you tell me what those items were?
Sir, he made a statement regarding India's, how the Indian Prime Minister has been speaking to the Russian leaders.
Okay, Ukraine, Russia. He said he's happy, and Prime Minister Modi has spoken quite a few times. But on bilateral issues, some other important topics and some other important areas which were discussed and some sort of decisions taken.
Sir, I know related to the trade deals, for example, defense.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, what really did you pick up upon the defense area?
That there will be a technology tie-up where maritime, there will be assistance given to India on the maritime engine propulsion systems, and
How would you define India's interests in this interaction with UK in the defense area? What are India's interests?
India's interests largely are to ensure that there is technology transfer, because India is looking for indigenous development of
Correct.
defense systems. So in that respect, I guess the engine propulsion systems is a major.
Do you think India wants to diversify its sources of defense equipment?
Yes, sir.
And why?
India has had historically a large dependence on Russia for defense procurement, and is now looking to diversify, and has also made some deals with US in the past, and now we are looking at UK.
Now, suppose I tell you that India is the world's biggest importer of arms. Would you say that's correct or not?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able. I know that India is one of the largest, but I won't be able
Well,
to
the SIPRI,
pinpoint
which
it.
is the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, ranked India at #1 for the last 5 years. So
Sorry.
you should know that.
I missed.
All right. Now, you're talking about Russia, Ukraine, the war. India's position is very well known. But you work for Deutsche Bank. What has been Germany's position in this regard? You would be following German policies. What has been the standing German policy in regard to such issues, and why it has been changed now?
Sir, I'm sorry, I have
You don't know.
not.
Well, they don't send weapons to conflict zones, but now they have changed. They send. You wouldn't know which weaponry has been sent by Germany to Ukraine.
No, sir.
Do
I'm
not follow that. All right. Now, recently, the UN Human Rights Council was very much in the news. What happened to put it in the news? Well, Russia was voted
Yes,
out from it.
yes, sir.
Russia's membership was suspended at the initiative of America. But is India a member of the UNHRC?
Sir.
Where is it located?
Sorry, sir.
You work for 2 Swiss banks. So where would be it be
Switzerland,
located? Where?
Geneva.
Yes, indeed. And how many members are there in the UNHRC?
Sorry, sir. I'm not.
You don't know. Now, India and Russia are members together of some international groupings apart from the UN. Can you tell me 2 international groupings of which they are members?
So, one is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization,
Okay,
also part of G20.
part of G20. Now, what is the problem relating to the next G20 summit? What major problem is confronting the next G20 summit? First of all, where and when will the next G20 summit be held?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of
You don't know. And
But I
what
know
would
that
be
the
the problem confronting it?
the major problem confronting them is the inclusion, whether Russia should be voted out of
Correct.
the G20.
And what do you think would be India's position?
Uh,
It's a difficult call
yes, sir.
to vote Russia out because we are partners with Russia still, and we are
Yes.
members in BRIC, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and G20. And the Americans are pushing Russia out. So what should be India's position? What do you think?
So, going by the stand that India has taken regarding strategic autonomy, and India has been abstaining even in the UNSC, even in the UN from sanctions against Russia. So, I believe that India will abstain from this vote.
India will abstain on this. It's a small group of 20. Okay, my last question.
Yes.
You stayed in Singapore and you worked at that time for a Swiss bank.
Yes, sir.
Now, why does India have an embassy in Switzerland but a high commission in Singapore?
Sorry, sir, I'm not.
You don't know.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Miss Priyamvada,
Yes, sir.
you are having very excellent depth,
Thank you, sir.
and we will discuss certain issues which are of current in nature,
Yes, sir.
as well as something from your subject, I think.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Wildlife Protection Act has been in the news. Yesterday's paper you might have seen, or you have not seen it.
Sorry, sir, I did not see.
They are trying to make some amendment, and there is a controversy about what kind of amendment it is. So, you don't have any idea about it.
No, sir.
Or do you have an idea about such an act?
Wildlife Protection Act, sir.
Wildlife Protection Act exists,
Yes, sir. Of course, I'm aware of it.
and it is the result of what? Why we have enacted it?
Sir, I am sorry, I do not know the genesis of.
No idea. You must have been reading about man-animal conflict.
Yes, sir.
This is also in today's paper or yesterday's paper also.
Yes, sir. This is a common occurrence in
Common
our.
occurring.
Yes, sir.
So where it is more concentrated,
Sir,
and why it is so?
Sir, usually this takes place because of rapid development that is taking place, and we are encroaching on wildlife sanctuaries and forest areas. So, because of and also for this, many times what happens is within the wildlife area, things like watering holes, different species which are the prey for a particular animal are not maintained well, and that is why the animals venture outside the protected areas, and that's where the human-animal
The
conflict.
water holes, in the water holes.
Watering holes.
It is not
yes.
watering hole,
Okay,
it is water
watering
hole.
Okay, sir.
In water holes, what happens?
Sir, as far as I'm aware, adequate water is provided so that animals have drinking water.
Yeah, animals take water during summer, peak summer.
Yes, sir.
So what is the problem?
If those are dried up, then animals look outside the protected area.
So they go out only for water,
And also for prey.
for food
Yes, sir.
and prey.
Yes.
Okay, then what is the solution to this problem?
When animals step outside the protected areas, they attack human beings, and that is where the problem comes, where many times the immediate reaction of the locals is to kill the animal.
No, I'm asking what is the solution?
Solution to this would be to ensure that development in general is very planned and not haphazard encroachment of forested areas, and reserves should be maintained well. Adequate diversity of species should be maintained in the protected areas.
How to maintain that? Is already, it is natural growing.
Sir,
How can you maintain diversity?
so many times because of hunting, the proportion of animals gets skewed, and then
So hunting also affects man-animal conflict.
yes, so poaching, hunting should also be contained.
How it will affect the man-animal conflict? If hunting is stopped, more animals will be there and there will be more conflict.
Sir, hunting basically, as I said, it targets a particular species, and then the ecosystem balance
No,
gets.
tell me what is happening, what is being reported, not the hypothetical situations like if it happens,
Okay,
if that
sir.
happens. If you know, then tell it. Otherwise, we'll go to the next.
Okay, sir.
Recently, another scheme has been announced by Government of India, Ministry of Transport. This is regarding toll collection. Have you read about it?
So the
Today-
fast tag.
Toll collection, toll plazas. When you drive on the road and then toll plaza comes, then you have to pay some fee.
Yes, sir.
So they have changed it to FASTag
Yes, sir.
earlier, but now they want to change it further based on some GPS or that kind of thing. Have you read about it?
No, sir, I'm not aware of this.
So I'll tell you the scheme and listen carefully. You have to tell your opinion about it.
Yes, sir.
Scheme is like this. The GPS will be fitted in the vehicle, all vehicles who want to use toll. And there will be, as you know, GPS is based on satellite. So with the help of satellite and GPS, authorities will know how much distance you have traveled on that road and where you are at any moment. So toll can be deducted automatically from your account based on the kilometers you have traveled. So no need of toll plaza infrastructure. This is the scheme going to be launched as declared by the Transport Minister. Now, what is your opinion about it?
Sir, it's a step in the right direction, because digitization in general will help solve many of our issues. However, we have to be careful about the privacy issues, because it will be akin to surveillance on all members of the society.
Good, that is good. Have you heard the acronym CITES?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
CITES is
It is a convention.
Convention for Environment Protection, for Species Protection. But sir, I'm not able
Convention,
to.
some international trade on species, flora and fauna. So this Wildlife Protection Act needs to be amended in view of the fact that India has signed CITES. Now, do you remember anything about it?
Sorry, sir. I'm
No,
not able to.
doesn't matter. We will come to a question which has already been raised by the Honorable Chairman to you, and that is about the demolitions.
Yes, sir.
I will give you a small plan to you, and you have to again express your opinion on that.
Yes, sir.
In the master plan of mega cities, we don't find anything for slums. So there should be a provision for slums. Slum provision should be that no slum will be allowed in the city. What will be done? At places where work is more, government will make small residing place residences which they will give it on rent. Nobody can stay at any other place, those who are coming for work. If they have their own building, legal building and all that, that is okay. But if they don't have anything, they are coming as thousands are coming every day, they can stay in the rental accommodations at a genuine rent or maybe a little subsidized rent. As long as they don't get the work, if they get the work, then rent can be increased. So there won't be any encroachment, because anybody who encroaches, he can be lifted and put in the rented accommodation. And if possible, arrange some work for them. If this is the scheme, do you think it is a very sound scheme?
Sir, on paper it is a sound scheme because we are talking about employment and habitation at the same time.
Not habitation, we are talking about actually this avoiding this encroachment.
Encroachment. However, sir, this can be misused whereby, as sir had pointed out, that it is possible that the people could sublet those rented accommodations.
Sublet not allowed, that's all.
Okay.
One
But
room,
affordability, sir, it is possible that even the rent is not affordable.
If they don't get work, they will not pay rent. If they get work, they will pay rent. It can be a percentage of the wages.
Yes, sir. Sir, also, the migrant laborer is first, it is cyclic in nature, and also there is a vast, the nature of the jobs is very varied. So to put a system in place where we monitor the wages and then calculate a proportion of the rent would perhaps be very difficult.
There is a provision that all contractors are supposed to register their workers and how much they are paying to them. And that is how the worker welfare fund gets generated. And
Yes.
now, if you are aware, then registration is going on actually at present throughout the country.
Okay, sir.
So now, do you agree with my scheme or disagree? If you disagree, you have to give the reason.
Sir, I'm
If
not
you
able
agree,
to
you
think.
don't have to give any reason.
I'm not able to think of any
Okay,
other
thank you.
reason.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priyamvada. Our discussion with you is over.
Okay, sir.
Kindly wait for a few minutes outside. We'll call you for a feedback.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.